All right.
Right. Okay.
Right. So today we're gonna do something unconventional.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna talk about a sport that we both don't look like we play.
I used the equipment, but yes, not the sport.
What do you use the equipment for? Okay.
We shall not know
We
extracurricular activities.
shall not discuss about that here. Okay, yeah. So today I wanted to talk about a sport that is actually pretty famous right now. Okay, paddle actually. Paddle is a very famous sport. A little did I know that kids are starting to play paddle as well, and they're in schools as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In Malaysia or in the world?
in Malaysia.
In Malaysia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So kids are starting to play paddle and pickle.
Fantastic.
And I mean, I think that's good because you get something that is exciting. A lot of kids want to do it, and probably no one's gonna come back with one shin bleeding or something like that. I'm not sure. Do you guys bleed during playing?
Oh, we do.
Oh, we do.
No, we do.
I mean, I would assume at a competitive level, obviously these things are a norm, right?
And it's not the nice kind of ones. You'll get like
Oh.
big.
Yeah, because and from what I understand, the courts also, what's the material?
It's a plastic kind of material, but it's tough plastic material. On top of that, there's inlay sand as well.
Ah, the sand.
Okay. So before we get to the details of those things, we have a guest with us today.
Hello.
Our guest already started speaking.
Yeah,
before we
it's like, the people are wondering, it's like, they got a third matcha.
Another ball one.
It looks like the other one.
If it got sweet.
Yeah. So we got Nigesh with us today. Nigesh Armon.
Hello.
Okay. So Nigesh, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So my profession, I'm a HR consultant, focusing on learning and development. My career-wise, I've done like all kinds of things, including music, video production, audio production. So I was very curious just now when you're adjusting the mic. I'm like, stuff. But yeah, that's in a nutshell me. And I've been playing paddle now for the past 3 years.
3 years. So I mean, what got you into paddle in the first place?
Weirdly, it was just friends
Okay.
calling us over a weekend. It's me and my fiance over a weekend.
Okay.
And it was one of the first paddle courts that opened here in Malaysia, Ascaro. Yeah, in Wanatama. So we decided to try, and it used to be just a Sunday thing.
Okay.
And then I think the one that really got me into paddle is when I decided, okay, let's take part in that first tournament that was organized here by Volvo, the Volvo Cup. So we decided to take part in that, and ever since then, I've been going at it quite consistently and treating it as a sport that I would really like to play.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, that's great actually. Okay. So what seems to be the pull factor that you think that people want to? I mean, there's more and more people wanting to play the sport, and you see courts opening up everywhere, and people are talking about investment potentials and ROIs from opening these courts and so on. I mean, what seems to be the pull factor that more and more people want to play this sort of racket sport?
Right.
I mean, we had ping pong and we had tennis.
Yeah.
Okay, the ping pong is the pad seems to be as big as paddle, maybe slightly smaller. You can correct me. Okay, but
Smaller.
suddenly when I think they mashed the two of it together, and they came up with the sport of it, and suddenly boom, a lot of people wanted to play this sport.
Right. So I think a bit of a tangent. Paddle is actually not new in
Okay.
the world.
Okay.
Malaysia, yes, it's only 3 years old, but it actually started in the 60s.
Oh.
Started in the 60s. I was just saying this Mexican
History
guys, he decided that in his estate, he didn't have space for a tennis court, so he decided to use this walled area and said, okay, I'll put a tennis court in the middle. And then said, hey, it's interesting. I've now got walls behind me. Let's try using the walls to play as well. And then it became a type of sport. So it started in the 60s, and then over time, especially in South America and Spain, that's where it grew in popularity because of the high-end people's clubs. So that's where it grew in popularity.
So it originated as a rich man's sport.
Yeah, it did. It is. It definitely did.
But wasn't like tennis a rich man's sport too at that point?
Yeah, it's still. And I think going back to your question just now, where what is the pull factor, right? I think there's two. One is the whole social aspect of it. So when paddle came to Malaysia, Ascaro especially, sold it as it's a social sport. It's a social sport. It's got this little bit atas kind of feeling kind of thing, so you can get.
I've seen the prices. Yeah, I will.
So everyone and they sold it well. They sold it well in the sense that, okay, there's this whole social society kind of thing. I'm part of this group kind of thing, and that's how it kind of became popular.
I see.
And then there are other clubs which open, which really lean into that whole, we're creating a community, so let's just work on that. Let's make everybody comfortable. Let's have a feel. Let's have either a party or whatever while we play paddle. So that's one of the factors. The other factor is for those who start it, it's one of those sports that's easy to start, very hard to master. So there's this mental part where, hey, I'm having fun playing, but the instant I try to get better at it, they'll start seeing that, okay, there's a lot to it. There's really a lot to it. And then it becomes quite addictive where you're trying to see, can I get better? Can I get better? Can I get better? Can I get better? And there's yet to be a ceiling for it.
I see.
So those who follow like Premier Padel and all that, it's been evolving where the sport has become more aggressive and more faster, especially in the men's side.
Okay.
Even for the women's as well. For the women's as well, where they used to play a lot more tactical, strategical paddle, they are also becoming more aggressive and faster. So that ceiling seems to be always moving up.
Of course.
So that then creates this feedback loop that, I want to still get better, I want to still get better, I want to still get better, and becomes addictive. So these two things, I think, is the thing that really is getting people into paddle.
I mean, if it's so easy to get into paddle, but do you feel like, I mean, as you explain, the intensity or the difficulty keeps climbing as you keep stepping up.
Yeah.
Do you feel that more will fizzle out when you get to that point? Like it fizzles out because they can't seem to keep up with it anymore.
Yeah. That definitely does happen, and that has a lot to do with fitness.
I see.
When you reach that point. So most players we have this leveling system up to 7 points, I think. The FIP is the World Paddle Association. So they have this 7-point system where they rank, okay, how good are you? So we start at beginner, then you move into intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced, and then pro. So most players, if they don't do anything with their fitness, they will get to that intermediate level. But the instant you try to move from the intermediate level into the advanced, fitness comes into play. So the fizzle out usually happens at that intermediate level if they don't focus on the fitness part of it.
Yeah, you kind of, I guess you're starting to meet your match.
Yeah.
People who can play as good as you, as fast as you, play as hard as you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, at a certain level, like with any sport, mastery of a skill is one thing, but you need to have the attributes to be able to hold on to and to improve that skill, right? So if, like, for example, sure, if you're a runner, you need proper running mechanics, running gait, running patterns. But if you don't have the engine, like you don't have the aerobic capacity to sustain that level of consistency, you can't, no matter how good your skill is, you just can't last as long.
Yep. Yeah.
So what would you say is the fitness aspect that's required to go from the maybe upper intermediate into the pro?
Advanced level.
Advanced level. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you go to the pro and all that. So when you're playing intermediate, the game is still slower in a sense. So you can manage to move around, but the instant you start moving into advanced, then players start playing varied games. Fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow. So you're moving in spurts and a lot across the court. So the first thing that people usually fail to do is legs and core. Legs and core, that becomes a very huge thing, especially mobility. Mobility, not large lunge step mobility, is like small step mobilities. And that speed that you need to move from one corner to another corner because the ball moves that way. So that's the first one. The next one is the shoulder. The shoulder, especially the back area. Like I recently started doing that because I started feeling like, okay, a lot of my like shoulder linked to my arm, I felt a lot of tension that way. And I didn't feel as loose. But the instant I started doing more of those, then I feel like, okay, more comfortable, more able to move and all that. And then finally, it's actually forearm to wrist. That becomes another big one. Because you're holding the paddle. So little trivia, you were talking about the racket, right?
Yeah.
So paddle, yes, it's bigger than table tennis. And it's actually the heaviest of all the racket sports.
Yeah, I learned that it was actually heavier than a tennis racket.
Yes, it is. So
Much to my shock. It's like, really?
So a paddle racket averagely is about 345 to 350 grams.
okay.
That's the average average weight of a racket.
Okay.
The instant you start playing higher, the players start going for more advanced rackets. And those rackets will go into the 370, the 380, that kind. So imagine holding that, playing just with your right hand. Your left hand is purely for control and also your body motion control. And doing that for an hour and a half.
How long does an average like match go on for?
An hour and a half.
So, sorry for my lack of knowledge. Like, does it work like badminton? So, badminton you have 21 points to score, and tennis you have 6 points to score, right? So, how does paddle scoring work?
It follows tennis. It follows tennis.
Oh, that's
so
tough.
you have a game of 6 to a set.
Okay.
And the scoring is tennis style as well.
So, it's 15, 30, 40.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So
And
it depends.
and deuces as well.
And uses as well.
Oh.
So it depends. Yeah. So example, like we played. I played a tournament match on, was it Thursday? Yes, Thursday. Thursday, a tournament match. So a set of 6 games can be as short as 20 minutes. If let's say one team is just winning everything through. That match, the first set of 6 took us an hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
Because it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we went into even doing the tiebreakers as well.
So, you only can win the point on your serve.
No, you can win a point
Okay.
even on your opponent's serve as well.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Wow. That's.
I mean, I've played paddle a few times. It's just that every time I play, I have to
Really?
re-
How many did you break?
Huh?
How many did you break? How many coins
I-
do you
I
have
can't
in
remember.
glass?
I didn't break a paddle, but I can count the balls that I've hit out of the court. So at Escaro, I've hit 3 tennis balls out.
That
Out
happens.
as in like out in front, out and went into the car park somewhere.
That happens. That
Yep.
happens.
So
even
that's-
even when we're playing properly as well, sometimes
Really?
there's something called a tap out that we do. So we get the right ball, we tap it out.
Uh-huh.
The ball really flies off. So it does fly over and go.
It's like a smash lah.
It's not a smash.
Sounds good.
The smash implies that the ball still stays in the court, bro.
Oh, okay.
Mine is a smash off.
So even the smashes as well. So I think going back to that whole fitness part of it, right? So especially when you're moving from intermediate to advanced, so on the arm and the shoulder part, that's where you start introducing a lot of overheads into the game. A lot of overheads, and the overheads are variation. You have slow overheads, you have faster overheads. So we have terms for it. We use Spanish terms. Like a slower one is called a bandeja. That's just to get the ball across, to keep the front of the net. Then there's the other one, which is called a vibora, which is, it's like viper slap, something like that, where you're literally slapping the ball. Like from the back, you're slapping on the side. So that motion, you're literally whipping your hand.
Oof.
And then there's the kick smash. The kick smash is, again, you from behind whipping your hand up and then coming back down. So there's so much motion there. Then there's a flat smash. And then there's a tap out. Tap out is either you do forehand tap out or backhand tap out. So all these things affect the whole chain all the way up to your shoulder.
Okay.
Those ones are like on here, but a lot more is on the legs and the core.
All right. Okay. So I think that's a good segue to talk about probably your recent experience as well. Now, when we talk about things like that, we're talking about things that actually can cause injuries as well, because this sounds demanding. I mean, from the hearing it, I'm already like, wow, that's actually demanding.
I got tired already.
Huh?
I got tired from this. After you went through all that, I'm like, yeah.
Do some cardio.
I was like, my shoulder already started getting tired, bro.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it sounds demanding on one arm. Okay. So with that being said, have you gotten injured yourself?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Should I reveal? Should I reveal?
Yes, I am. Proud of it. Okay.
That's how hard he played, bro.
Yeah.
So my most recent one is actually on my wrist.
Oh, okay.
On my wrist, where I had basically inflammation in my tendon sleeve, and that one came about, I think, because I was at that juncture moving from like intermediate into upper intermediate. So I decided to play a tournament and play 2 divisions of the tournament.
Okay.
And
What do we mean by 2 divisions? Like,
so we have in play whether you want to play men's, women's, or mix.
okay.
So I was playing mix and men's.
I see. I thought it was a weight class something. I had the key.
So you could play in women's as well. Like that's a bit unfair. Okay.
You can, bro. You can identify. Just take it out.
Just pick up my hair.
You might be like
A big woman.
it's all right.
Okay, so you played in men's and mix.
Yeah, men's and mix. So that day it's total of like 10 hours of paddle, I would say, because like we played morning and then I played my next division at night. So that started causing pain in my wrists.
I see.
And then I continued playing. And didn't take into account all the fitness stuff I needed to do and all that. And then it got to a point where it just hurt so bad just to even hit the ball. Like, couldn't take a forehand. Then I had to go for treatment, of course, for that. And ever since then, I had to be extra careful. And then other things came into play. Like I started understanding, I don't know if we're going to talk about that later, but the equipment-wise, the racket-wise. So one of it was overstrain. And I didn't have the fitness to actually keep that going. The other one was I was using the wrong kind of racket for my fitness level.
In what sense?
So the rackets actually, from equipment-wise, that's like one of the main equipment, the racket.
Yeah.
And most players here in Malaysia still, unless you are really starting to play it properly and understand how to play the game, are just buying any racket they want.
Okay.
Either because it looks nice or it feels nice, that kind of thing. But the rackets actually follow your skill level and follow your style of play. So there is actually 3 types of rackets. There's what we call round rackets, hybrid shaped rackets, which is like teardrop shape, and diamond shaped rackets, where the weight's further up. So usually they'd say if you're an intermediate player or you're a beginner player, go for a round shape.
Okay.
Because it's the most centered sweet spot to hit, so you can hit anywhere and it's still okay. Then as you get better, go for teardrop. Teardrop, the weight distribution moves up a little bit,
Okay.
right? And also they said those advanced players who like more control games, use a teardrop. And then there is the diamond shape. Diamond shape, the weight is all the way on top of the racket. So when the weight is all the way on top, so imagine holding the racket and the weight is all the way here. So as you hit or you do this, a lot of stress comes to your wrist.
I see. So you were using what at that point?
I was still using a teardrop, and here comes the other variation on the rackets, where there's the difference between hardness of the racket.
I see.
So again, as you get more and more,
Are we talking about the pedal bit itself, the hardness of the pedal bit itself?
the surface,
Okay.
the surface of it. So let's say you go for a softer material. Softer material is better for control. Better for ball output. Better for ball output, so it's easier on the arm. It's easier to play from the back of the court with it.
Okay.
But at the front of the court, it's not the best attacking racket.
Okay.
Because the ball output is too much that when you hit it too hard, then the ball
This is gonna fly out of the court and those kind of things.
it flies uncontrollably.
I see.
Then as you get more advanced as well, or you want a more attacking game, you'll go for a harder surface racket.
I see.
Then that harder surface racket at the back, it's a bit more harder to play. But at the front, or when you're doing overheads, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. The ball actually really goes. Like really, there's a trajectory to the ball. If you want to do kick smashes and things like that, it's a lot better.
But do you have to take on more impact if you're playing with a harder racket?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You do feel it.
Yeah. So you feel that reverberation that comes from the racket itself upwards.
And then there's a third element on the racket, which is stiffness.
I see.
So hardness is one thing, stiffness is another thing.
Okay.
What's the difference?
So stiffness, there's what we call rackets which have a little bit of a trampoline effect,
Okay.
and then rackets which are dry.
Ah.
So trampoline effect rackets is like when you hit the ball, it feels like you have a trampoline in your hand, it just goes in and it flies out.
Sounds like Young's modulus. Yeah. That's because when we do operations for orthopedics, the material we use has stiffness. So glass is probably brittle. So you can't use something that's brittle. So use titanium, which has good amount of hardness, but it's also stiff to a certain level, but it's not as stiff as a glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of situation. Yeah, but it sounds something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you go stiffer, it becomes drier in feel. Drier in feel, I like to use this idiom, which is it produces what you give. So meaning there's no give on the racket, so there's no trampoline effect or anything like that. Everything is on your hand, everything is what you do. But you have a lot of control. You have a lot of control, but again, that also transfers a lot to your hand. So when you don't have the fitness and you get the wrong racket and you play with the wrong racket, and especially if the racket is heavier, it really takes a toll. Like especially those who are complaining. A lot of paddle players are complaining about tennis elbows, golfer's elbow, wrists, shoulder issues, all because of that.
I mean, talking about like elbow issues, that's when I found out about shit with rackets weight. Because I was treating another person with an elbow issue. That's when I found out it was actually because the same person played tennis before and never had these issues and switched to paddle and started having these issues. And actually it's because, of course, the hardness has a lot to do with it as well. Okay. The harder the racket is, because we talk about string tension when you talk about tennis. Because string tension, the harder, the stiffer the string tension or the harder the string tension is, the more you have to take on. And if your opponent really can hit hard and you have to take on, or you got to back pedal it or forehand it, you have to absorb a lot more before the ball goes back. And that ends up being a wrist issue, an elbow issue, a shoulder issue eventually.
Correct.
And if you're talking about playing an hour for one game, and how many sets do you, I mean, like, do you play like,
So it's best of 3 usually. So depends on your luck. So if you get to win in the 2 sets, fantastic.
okay,
But if not, it goes to the third.
yeah.
If you're even more unlucky, it goes to a third plus a tiebreaker.
So in a day, how many games can you play? Like, say you're talking like one game. So if you say we need 2 sets, right?
Yeah.
So that could be roughly 2 hours of you playing.
Yeah.
Do you have to play another 2 hours of that after that?
Okay. If it's, let's say, in the FIP tour or the Premier Padel tour and all that, usually you play 1 game a day.
Okay. Okay.
1 game a day, that's it. But
Okay.
here in Malaysia, unfortunately, people are trying to cram a lot into 1 day of tournament. The league style tournament is just now becoming something that everyone wants to go towards. But before this, it's always in 1 day, you're playing many games.
Oh.
So you're playing like 5 games. 5 games in a day. Even though they're short sets. They're short sets, but you're playing 5 games a day. So it does take a toll.
Well, that sounds really risky though. Okay. That sounds like something that.
And are there paramedics or emergency personnel on this game tournament days?
There's usually the first aider that's there, but not anyone who
Is it from the Red Crescent or?
yeah, either St. John's or Red Crescent, you're there. But sometimes there's like osteo there or someone who does chiro who's there just for short stints kind of thing. But no one who really understands like, okay, this person is facing this pain, what could he possibly be and what could they do at that point in time?
Okay. Okay. All right. So, I mean, besides we spoke a lot about the physical preparedness of the sport. What about mental preparedness? Do you feel like that plays a big role as well?
I think it's, to me, I feel so far, I played basketball, I played badminton. Yes, I played badminton. I had to put that in. Out of all the sports I played throughout my life, this has been the most cerebral one of all.
Why so?
I think one is because of the dynamics of the ball movement, because it's not just you hitting across the court in one direction. The ball can come back, hit the glass, and you still can take the ball. So it can hit the glass directly, it can hit the glass in 2 corners, it can hit the other way around.
So a bit of a squash element in here.
Yeah. So the ball is moving around a lot.
Well, that sounds scary.
Very different ways. So you have to literally anticipate, like, okay, this person is hitting it this way, it's possibly going to hit this glass here. So I've got to prepare myself this way, get ready to hit it, and also think when I'm hitting it, what kind of shot am I going to take so that I can put it in a certain spot.
And you can also hit it first hand if you want to.
Sorry?
Like you say the ball is coming, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm not sure. Do you
All volleys.
like, do you allow the ball to hit the ground once only, or can it hit twice?
Oh, only once.
Once. So if say it hits the bottom, hits the glass, you gotta hit it back before it hits back the ground.
Yes, before it hits back.
Oh, that sounds really scary.
That's one. So here's the other thing as well. Like those who start playing now above the glass line, as we call it.
Okay.
So meaning, if let's say you do a tap up,
Okay.
okay, it doesn't go all the way out.
Okay.
So there's the 4-meter line at the back of the court, and it hits below the 4-meter line, which is actually just grill. You still can get the ball.
Ooh.
So you have to be aware that, okay, wait, it's there. I still can get the ball. But if it hits above the 4-meter line, that means it's gone out. Okay, you can't.
Oh, so that's considered out, really, lah.
No, okay, wait. Let me correct that. Let me correct that. When it goes above the 4-meter line behind, this is never going to happen because no one can run all the way back there and take the ball. So it's considered out. But if let's say they do, so there's this kick smash called Potres. Potres because it's 3-meter line on the side. So when they smash and it goes outside, as long as it has not contacted any surface outside of the court, you can run out and get the ball back.
Oh my God.
Sounds very physical.
Yeah.
I don't think we will survive it, bro.
I run through the court lot lah. I'll just make make an entrance to the glass pane. Because rules are rules. Rules are rules. And then for glass broken, you have to stop the game. There's a break, right?
Yeah, of course.
See?
Of course.
It's all about using your brains and your muscles, bro. Yeah.
Bro,
I just put
the
my
amount of
hand through-
oxygen your muscles will take up, your brain is not going to get any. Okay? We won't be very cerebral. We just be brute force.
So when I say cerebral, it's cerebral in the sense that you literally have to quiet your mind.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Sounds like there's a lot of thinking going on.
If you second, like I face this now, you second guess the shot you want to take, that's when you'll just not get it. Let's say you're thinking, I could take this, and don't decide before you hit, the ball will kind of like.
I just got to the whole level of
to make-
interested about this sports right now.
Yeah, because
Sounds fun.
when the ball is moving, as speed is moving, you don't have time to second guess.
E equals to MC square, bro.
Huh?
E equals to MC square. I'm not sure whether it works here.
You just have to go for it and then
Energy equals mass plus acceleration.
Yes.
Can I accelerate or pass? No.
But that's how you get better at the sport, right? Because even if you made a bad shot, what you get from it is, yeah, sure, you get a bad shot, but you get experience as well.
Yeah, of course.
So your body reacts that way the next time because, for example, next time you find yourself in a similar situation, you know what not to do,
Yeah.
right? So I think the dynamics of the sport, the way your cerebral efficiency has to move is from mistakes and experience.
Yeah.
Okay, it is. So with that being said, we talked about how the sport is done and injuries
One
and
more
so
thing that actually makes it a lot more cerebral because it is a pair sport. It is a partner sport.
Oh, there's no singles.
There's no singles.
So just about to ask the singles.
There's no singles of this one. So now you're playing with another person next to you, both fulfilling different kind of roles.
So you just can't pick you just can't change, okay, you're free, let's play. Kind of like that lah. Because you have to understand each other.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing at a tournament level kind of thing, you have to.
So do you have dynamics like you take front, I take back in this round and so on and so forth?
So generally, the thing is, when your opponent is serving, they hold the net. They hold the net when they serve. So that means they're volleying and things like that. So you are playing defense at the back of the court. At that point, your whole idea is, I want to move them back so that I can move front. So then how do you play with your partners to get that done?
I see.
So the other way around when you're serving.
There's a lot of coordination involved.
And it's because there's two players on the other side, you can't leave gaps. So you have to really work in tandem with your partner.
Okay. And do you play in your own half of that court or do you can move around in that?
You can move around, but generally you'll be playing on your side.
Okay.
Generally you play on your side and then you play different roles. So if you're a right-hand side player, generally they'll say you're a setup player, unless it's a left-handed player,
Okay.
right? You're playing on the left side, you're an attack player.
Is it better to have people with two different hands playing in one team?
Depends also. Because again, it's two people communicating with each other. So I faced this before where I usually play left.
Okay.
And if my partner is a left-handed right side player, so that means both of us can take the center. Both of us can attack. Then who's going to do it?
But one is your forehand, one is his backhand. What?
I know if it's right and right, then it's quite clear. It's
Okay.
quite clear that the person with the forehand always covers center and covers towards the back. But if it's back, let's say it's a left-handed right side player and a right-handed,
Yeah, that's his forehand and your forehand too.
which actually, if you know how to play with the person, it's fantastic because now you have two attacking players on the court.
Interesting.
As opposed to one attacking and one defending.
One more setup.
Okay.
Because if it's a right-hand side player on the right hand, your forehand is near the wall. So it's harder to get the ball into at that point. But if you're right hand on a left side, your forehand's on the center, you can do a lot more.
All right, that's interesting. Now, we spoke about injuries. Now, what have you done? Like, after you have experienced that injury, you've gone through your treatment, you've gotten to the other end.
Yeah.
Now, what have you done to prevent yourself from getting into these issues?
Okay.
Or at least reduce your risk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one is I changed my racket, that's for sure, because I knew that the racket was one of the issues.
Okay.
I immediately felt it, like even after the treatment, after I felt better, when I went to play and I used the same racket back again, I immediately felt that vibration that went through my arm. I was like, oh no, this is not something I want to happen again. So then it took me time to kind of find that right racket for myself.
Okay.
So I did now. I did find the right racket for myself. I'm using that. That's one. Then Two is focus a lot more on the fitness or the workouts that are appropriate for the sport. That has been the biggest change.
Okay.
Okay, tell us about your fitness routine.
So I do weights,
Yes.
right?
How many times a week? What do you do? Is it-
So weights are usually like 3 times a week.
okay.
I do, and that's across the whole body. Like each day is
Do you have a trainer? You work with a trainer, or you do yourself?
no myself.
Okay.
Have a home gym.
Okay.
Use that. Then the gap days, I do more stuff for like the pedal. So I use bands for that, like especially my shoulder and back area, my wrists, and for all pedal players out there, please do not only do on the hand that you're using.
Dominant, your
We're
right
using both. We do both because it's important to have the balance in the both. So a lot on the back, a lot on the wrists, a lot on the legs, and especially being comfortable being in a squatted position in a very long time.
Maybe you can explain to the listeners out there why it's important to train both sides, even if their dominant hand, their racket hand is the right side. Why should they train their left?
So we use your non-dominant hand as your counterweight or your balancing hand,
Yep.
right? So it's not that this is just dead here. You actually have to do, like, let's say you're taking a forehand volley. Your left hand is doing something. Your left hand is actually the one that moves and creates the counterweight that you move down with the volley. So if you don't train this hand, and you don't train the motion on this hand, or this hand is weak, you'll find this hand being imbalanced when you're hitting the volley.
Yeah, I think that brings into the knee. When I think at one point you mentioned about core strength, right? So we do believe that our body works like slings, right? So whatever your left side is doing, your right hand is taking on. Whatever the right leg is doing, your left. So I guess there's a lot of slinging movement as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is something that you probably have to work on as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then if let's say you're doing a backhand, the backhand is where your non-dominant hand acts like a stop for you. Because imagine if this is not strong, this side is not strong, and you're doing a backhand, the body's just gonna fly.
Single hand, double hand.
You can use double hand.
Okay.
But typically people don't use double hand because the racket's handle is not long enough for a double hand.
I see.
The racket handle is generally 12.5 centimeters.
Okay.
Generally. So you can hold both, but it's tough. It's tough to hold both. And you don't get a lot of leverage when you do that.
I see. So then talking about, because we talk about like things like periodizations and deloads and whatnot.
Okay.
Do you put those into your program right now?
Now I do. Now I do.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Absolutely. So what I try to do nowadays is, like, say if I've had a month where I'm playing a lot, I have tournaments and stuff like that. So I've already got one plan that I've got another tournament coming up next week. So I do have practices for that. But the week after, I'm taking a complete stop. I'm just gonna stop playing for 1 week, but still continue all my fitness stuff.
Okay.
To keep that going, just to deload.
I see.
And then if I've had very vigorous weeks, the next week, if I still have to play, I'll try to lighten it completely. Like only 2 sessions. That's about it.
I see. How about nutrition?
Nutrition. So I still am continuing taking in the morning. There's it's called Forten. I don't know what exactly is in it. I think it's like vitamin E and a few things there. I still continue to take that. That helps with recovery. I think my biggest issue right now, especially with the age being 41,
Okay.
recovery.
Yeah, I think as that's to all of us that age, right? I think eventually our recovery will catch up with us, especially when you're doing something week on week.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, as you said, you're stepping up your game.
Yeah.
It is going to be requiring you to recover enough for you to have better output.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I feel like a lot of pickle and paddle players actually don't really take into account, especially when you start playing a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
All right. Because you are talking about ligaments and tendons that don't recover as fast as your muscles.
Yeah.
And if you don't take into account those things, you are going to get injured really fast, really soon.
There are a lot. I would say that the younger ones take this for granted. The older ones get too caught up in it that they forget to do that. I've learned the hard way that when I got injured, but I still see a lot who play every day. They play every day, and some days they'll play 5-hour matches, and then the next day they're continue playing another 2-hour matches, then the next day they suddenly play another 5-hour matches.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and to me, when I'm looking at them,
That sounds like a bad idea.
Sooner or later, something's going to happen, and then this is not going to be fun anymore.
Yeah. Now, I think one last question to wrap up this entire episode for today. Where do you see this sport going? Do you think this sport is going to be, I wouldn't say as big as tennis, but do you think it will someday get almost as big as tennis?
I think it worldwide is already at this moment, because tennis is kind of going out of style a little bit.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So after tennis, what's the next one, which is a racket sport, which has so much attention and so much money in it? It's Padel. It's Padel. So if we ever get a chance to watch Premier Padel and see the setup and how they do the tournaments, where they're doing the tournaments, the kind of sponsors that are backing it, the kind of money that's behind it. So because there is the entertainment factor for it, because it's one of those where skill sets just keeps rising.
Do you also have to stay quiet when someone is serving?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So it's like tennis. Okay. Like, shh. Good.
Yes.
Like, look.
That happens. That happens.
Right.
But because you stay quiet when serving, but after the serve, you hear all four players yelling and talking a lot because they're actually communicating with each other. So you hear that a lot.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So
So
the audience has to remain quiet.
the audience is remain quiet
Wow.
so that the players can hear each other, because they're actually telling like where the person is, what this person is doing, so that they can decide the shot, that kind of thing.
Wow.
So you do tell the person, like, you go back or I'm going front or something like that?
Okay, you don't say who goes back or front unless it's like a clutch situation. Like you got no choice, then you say like go, 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 that kind of thing. Usually what they're doing is saying, okay, this person is in front, that person's behind. So it already tells the person that, okay, if that person's behind, I'm going to take an overhead, I'll go to the guy who's more behind than in front. Or they'll say person in front very close to net. So you'll know that, okay, that means I have space either to hit it straight at the body or go behind the person. Those kind of things. So it's that kind of communication that's going on so that this person can decide, I'm going to take this shot or this shot.
Very interesting. I learned a lot about paddle today. And I learned the spelling as well. It's Padel.
Padel.
All right?
Yeah. And
Padel.
so answer that
Padel.
question, where does it go here in Malaysia? It's still an infant sport here in Malaysia. I still say that. It's still an infant sport here in Malaysia. There's still more traction that is happening. And the good thing is now there are professional setups that are appearing. So when I say professional setup, like the Malaysian Padel Association, Selangor Padel Association.
It's good.
So that's starting to form. It's not yet a sport considered in by Beli and Sukan, but I think it will get there because of the fact that there is entertainment value and there's money you can put behind it.
That's good to know. All right. That's all for today. Thank you, Nigesh, for educating the both of us.
Thank you.
I felt very educated.
Yeah, no,
I learned a lot about
I
this
feel like
one.
a lot of our listeners will actually finally get a good grasp on like what paddle is, and maybe we can add on to that if we have some. So between paddle and pickle, obviously pickle doesn't require a much larger or significant startup cost because of the there's no like what call those things, window panes.
We call it the back wall of
The back wall, okay, so the back walls. But in regards to, would you say that due to the rise of both paddle and pickle, obviously pickle being more accessible,
Yeah.
rising much more quicker, that it's somehow contributing to the awareness of paddle sports?
I would say yes, definitely. Definitely it is. And I think it's nice that we have both. We have both where those who want something a little less intense and more accessible. I'm not saying it's not intense, but a little less intense and more accessible.
I would agree that I've done both. I would say that paddle is definitely more intense because of like simply having those walls already and like the dynamic nature of it, the cerebral workload that you have to anticipate. It's much harder.
Yeah. And that's the other part, which is for those who really want to get into it, who really enjoy pushing themselves for it, then there's paddle.
Yeah.
Because that does require some form of investment, whether it's money, time, or your fitness.
I think it's good that these two paddle or racket sports are up and coming. It just gives people an option of, okay, if I want something challenging, then you see that crowd gravitate towards a certain one, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's good.
Thank
All
you.
right. Till the next episode.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you. Cool.